Hey everyone, it's been a long time and it's around 2 years मैंने अपनी पहली वीडियो डाली थी और काफ़ी अच्छा रिस्पांस आया। काफ़ी लोगों के क्वेश्चन है, काफ़ी लोगों ने लिंक्डइन में बात की रिलेटेड टू दैट टॉपिक कि आपने ब्रेव ब्राउज़र को ऑटोमेट किया। एट दैट टाइम इट वाज नॉट अ ट्रेंडिंग टॉपिक बट नाउ ब्रेव ब्राउज़र ऑटोमेशन की काफ़ी वीडियोज़ आ गई हैं, बेटर देन माइन एज वेल। सो रियली दैट वाज वेरी हेल्पफुल। उस समय आप लोगों ने जो मुझे सपोर्ट दिया एंड आफ्टर अराउंड 2 years मैं दोबारा एक वीडियो बना रहा हूँ जो आई थिंक इंडस्ट्री को इस समय वन ऑफ द वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग ऑफ द इंडस्ट्री आई वुड से ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग एंड लोगों को इतना आइडिया नहीं है इसके बारे में। लाइक पीपल आर वेरी वेरी लेम हैविंग अ वेरी लेम आइडिया अबाउट दिस टॉपिक बेसिकली in the industry level. If I speak of manual testing, they are good with that. They are very good at manual testing. They are doing great. But what about automation testing? How and what are the sources of automation testing? What do we do in automation testing? Like people are not aware about it. So this is just a small video where I'll give a example at the very end of a script that I've written. That's a very basic, simple script that I've written where I'll go to the Google and search for the element and search for the search for something and it will come up. Okay, so I'll just tell a basic about automation testing and what articles we'll be covering. So simply suppose if with an example I would say you are logging into Facebook, Google, Amazon, anything. So what you will do is you'll give your username, you'll give your password, you'll click on login and you'll be logging into that page. It could be any of the website you're logging into. So this thing comes up with the automation skills. So suppose I need to log in without using my hands, just running a simple click but not running a command with a jar file, with a exe file, or maybe as well in a source code. I'll just run that thing where it will send a username, it will send the password, it will automatically click on login. I can perform multiple operations after that. So that is what automation testing will do. High level automation or automation programs that people are building, and it is very unethical. But people are the games that people usually play. I mean, the PUBG Mobile is very famous. Player, I really love CS:GO, and now it's CS2 though. So in those games, people are creating cheats. So that is also part of automation. That is not a good example, but I know that is also something. The market is very big over there, so that is something very important over here. So I'll just, this is just a simple basics of automation testing. So what articles will cover over here? I've created a very small slideshow just to tell you about automation testing, what it is. And for my Hindi viewer, I also translate in Hindi because मुझे मैक्सिमम लोग देखते हैं जो इंडिया से हैं एंड आई सॉ 30% पीपल वॉचिंग मी आर आउटसाइड इंडिया, मोस्टली फ्रॉम यूएस, यूरोप एंड ऑल. सो डेफिनेटली आई विल बी कंटिन्यूइंग फॉर everyone in English, then I'll explain the things in Hindi as well for my viewers. Okay. So the articles that will cover in automation testing, it will be the introduction, what the automation testing is all about, why we need automation testing, and when do we need to do the automation testing or automate any of those things. Could be desktop application, could be UI, could be web application or API, anything. Then I would tell you the difference between automation and manual testing, where we are limiting the automation testing scope and all the challenges we are having, what are the advantages of. So I'll come across this tool. And the other things that is important inside the automation testing is the types. People are often confused what types of automation testing is there. So automation testing types and the tools that are very famous on those types. I'll tell you about those as well. So ये मेरे हिंदी व्यूवर्स के लिए है कि मैं आपको अब कुछ बेसिकली ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग के लिए बताऊंगा जो आपको ज़रूरत है ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग की, हमें ज़रूरत कहाँ पड़ती है और हम कब ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग करते हैं उससे रिलेटेड. मैनुअल टेस्टिंग और ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग में क्या डिफरेंस है वो बताऊंगा. ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग के हमारे कितने प्रकार हैं वो सब बताऊंगा आप सबको. उसमें क्या क्या आपको मतलब क्या आपका ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग ज़्यादा अच्छा है, क्या कम है मैनुअल टेस्टिंग, वो सब आपको बताऊंगा. ठीक है. So let me come to first to the introduction to automation testing. What is automation testing? Let's go across this. So this definition is something that I have taken from Atlassian because that is something really good definition I could say I found, and I'll just say it right away from here from the screen itself. Automated testing is the application of software tools to automate a human-driven manual process of reviewing and validating a software product. Most modern agile and DevOps software projects now include automated testing from inception. So basically, whatever a human operation can do, automation testing can perform that. Okay, so this is the benefit of automation. Suppose, like I said, I want to log into YouTube, I want to watch a video. Automation testing will make sure you can do that. You want to like a video, you want to subscribe to a video, you want to share the same video to your friends. Automation testing will make sure you can do it. Also, you can do the crossly across all the applications. Suppose you are doing the web automation, you are switching to desktop automation, you are also validating the API part. So you can do it with multiple things. Selenium plus Java you are using for web suppose. For desktop you are using Android IT. For API you are using REST assured. So you can go across a lot of things. And in a technological terms, agile and DevOps software projects are right now on a very large scale happening with the help of automation. So I think this is something the people who are in the industry of IT industry, they'll know about it. Okay. Second point, when the exploratory testing of an application is done, and to save the cost, automated scripts are developed for running the regression test. This is something I have written, so I'll just tell that, which not only save the code but ensure the functionality is running absolutely correct. So basically, whenever I want to explore an application, how can I write an automation script without knowing about the application? Okay, I haven't used Google Meet. Suppose I've never used Google Meet. How would I log into that meeting? How will I go to that meeting? What are the mic unmute, screen sharing, camera? I don't know about it, so I can't automate that thing. But if I explore the application of Google Meet, so I can do that. So only after that time I can do automation testing. And how that would be helpful? Suppose there will be a lot of them. Sometimes the UI is getting changed a bit. So at that time, automation testing will ensure that things are going smooth or not. The functionality is not getting broken. The regressions will be helping us out on that. And the best part is, for suppose a manual guy needs hour or 2 hour, automation testing will ensure that you are doing it in 15 minutes. The cost is very less in that case. So the other point is automation engineer can automate not just for testing the application but also develop scripts in such a way which predicts the outcome, and the most commonly used such scripts are companies like Aimware, Cheat.io, RPA. So this is an example I've taken. As I told you, this is unethical, but this is something very profitable thing that is happening, because see, unethical, if it would have been unethical, then it wouldn't be sold. But something which is getting sold in the market is somewhat ethical, I would say. Unethical for player like me who play a game, but ethical publicly. So this is something you can also just not show that you need to test the application, but you can develop scripts, and such scripts which will ensure you can do better and better and better in lot of things. It doesn't matter on just for a desktop application. You can do it for high level if you'll go to the missile, the simulation. So that will also come. So desktop UI automation, web automation, mobile automation, there are very common types of automation we are using. API automations are there. The RP is also people are using. There are a lot of type of automation people are using, but which I'm familiar with. I've mentioned that. There's one thing that is missing is API automation that I've done other than these three. I haven't done RP, I haven't done missile. Kash karta hu. Even if we go a bit tech high, the missile example that I've given you, so this is also something that is happening right now. So the missile also follows automation with similar, so the field is vast and unbreakable, even though greatness of AI also comes into the market. This point I mentioned specifically for everyone who will be watching this video, because I know people are scared of AI. Chat GPT is there, 3.5, 4 people are using with premium, 5 is gonna come, Debian AI has come to the market, it's taking job, it's doing this, that. Don't worry at all. Some things you can't take it. You can't take a job of a farmer. You can't take a job of a soldier. You can't take a job of automated tester. Just remember this thing. Okay? So be excellent in automation testing. No one can take your job. So this is just a simple introduction about automation testing. Then I'll come to the need of automation testing and when to do it. Basically, this is a slide where I'm telling you about the advantages of automation testing. The first point you can see over here is speed. Speed. Why we need speed? Throughout, I'm not just talking about automation testing. Whenever you are running, you'll say Usain Bolt has done it in 9.53 seconds. I don't know the exact number, but I just guess it to be 9.53 or 9.3 maybe. I don't know, but you really want the speed. So whosoever comes first, he'll be having the fastest speed. If it is a MotoGP, if it is a F1 race, if it could be a simple race. So why speed is important is because of this reason. You need to excel, you'll have to go with a better speed. So that's a simple thing. And the best point in automation testing is the speed. So if a manual tester is taking around 1 hour to do a regression testing of a page of a application, the automation testing will make sure 15 minutes maximum, I would say. Maybe so in some of the cases the application is small and all, it could take 5 minutes, it could take 3 minutes, it could take, and it could run 50 of the tests. If a user is running only one test, it could run 50 tests parallelly. So we have functionality in Playwright, we have in TestNG, parallel execution. So yeah, we can do that in Selenium and all. Okay. So then it comes to reliability and repeatability. Okay, automation testing is reliable, and we can repeat the process multiple. As I talk about the parallel execution, so parallel execution is something that is very helpful. So that's the main reason you can repeat it multiple times. And reliable, of course, when something is having smoothness, it is reliable for sure. You can guess multiple examples. Coverage of test and reusability of the same test. So this is again a repeatability thing, but we can also reuse that thing as well. Okay, so coverage of the test is basically whatever test we are defining, we can cover that. I mean, we can definitely go through all the things whatever we are defining in that test. Simplify, I'll give an example. Suppose I want to automate a Google Meet call. What I'll do, I'll log into Google, I'll go to the Google Meet link, I'll make sure of the functionality is working, the mic is, the unmute button of mic is working fine or not, the screen sharing, the camera. So I will make sure that everything is covered in that thing. And the reusability of the same test, I can reuse it multiple times. Whenever I'll need, whenever there is a functionality change in Google Meet, Google will send definitely a release note that there is this functionality change. I'll again go through that and I'll again figure that out. Then we have accuracy and cost saving. Accuracy and cost saving. So suppose you are, it is actually a little, you will say that it is not right automation this thing, but see, if you are automation engineer, definitely you might take up a job. If one automation engineer can take a job of a 2 or 3 manual engineer, what I believe, this is my personal belief. I'm not saying this will happen in the future, but this is my personal belief. The reason only is this, that if I'm taking a manual engineer, suppose in India, if I'm taking a manual engineer paying him 30k rupees, and the same thing I can do 30k per month, and same thing with the automation I can do in 10k, I'm paying the automation engineer 90k they're getting. An automation engineer, I'm paying him 50, 60, and he's building a script, it is running on PC. So that will always obviously cost me less than what I'm paying to the others. So this is always a thing. The example couldn't be that perfect, I guess, but definitely I can give you a better example in future. But right now this comes to my mind, and I'm giving this one. And then the accuracy. So you can see the accuracy is when we are clicking on the exact same thing. So suppose sometimes happen with from manual tester point of view, you can miss some of the functionality. But automation testing, if you have written that thing, it will never miss that part. So that is the benefit automation. So suppose it is my bad day. I'm in a slump period. My mind is not working. I'm doing some testing of an application. I forgot that this underline sign needs to be worked correctly. I haven't tested that whether this is getting underlined or not, and I forgot about that part. So it is not the right practice. So automation testing is a machine. It's a machine. It will obviously test that part it is working or not. Then we can debug the failed test case as well. So this is again the continuation of the topic that I'm talking about. We can debug the failed test cases. So whenever the script is failing in automation, we can know about it that it is failing. And suppose during the manual part, we are doing it, we haven't caught that thing. It won't become as failed test case, it will be coming as past test case in our mind. But initially it was failed, and when we ran the script, it was failing. So we can debug where exactly it was failing. So yeah, these are the certain advantages of automation testing, I would say. Then we have after the exploratory test, when should we do automation testing? Sorry. So as I told you, we should do automation testing only when we know the application. During the regression testing, when we need to run multiple regression suits. During CI/CD phases to make process smooth. So if someone is working on Jenkins or AWS or Azure, they'll know why the CI/CD process is important and how can we automate that time in Jenkins, in AWS, and Azure. So if in future I can help you definitely on those topics as well. But right now I'll just go with the testing perspective. Then to create simulation application, this is again high level missile automation, and I won't go to this thing. I'll definitely get someone from Boeing, Lockheed Martin, or Hull, or from who can help you out for this. Then we have a lot more examples, and in future we'll again talk about these things. Okay. Now comes the most important thing: types of automation testing that we are having. So in automation testing, we are having multiple types. I've only mentioned 4 of them: desktop, API, mobile, and lastly I have mentioned web because I have a lot of things to speak about it. I have worked like my 70% of my career has been into web automation, 20% into API, and 5% in mobile and desktop automation. So this is my entire career. That's why web is something I've been associated with it from a very long time. Worked in a lot of new things: Selenium, Cypress, Test Cafe, Playwright, and a lot of tools I've worked on. So I can definitely help on that. But let's go to the desktop automation. So in desktop automation, the cheat thing that I called, again, sorry for that, but that thing is something which is the most useful at the desktop level. So desktop means, suppose you need to run a database query and you want to fetch the result, you want to download that CSV file. So you can do that with the desktop automation. There are tools. Auto IT is very easiest tool to start working with, to know about the desktop automation. So it just uses a basic language. Basic language is actually a basic language where just you need to write ki print, it will print. You want download, it will download. So it's very basic in that case. And but the I mean the standard in the industry that people are currently using, and I have also used one of the applications, Vinium, which is on Selenium based. And why this is very helpful and very much useful in the industry level is because Vinium is having a good community, a big community for desktop automation, and a lot of documentations are available. For auto IT, a lot of documentation. If you do chat GPT, you'll get a lot of documentation. But there are more tools, but the documentation could be less, the community will be small. So Vinium is, I think, occupying around 75% of the market right now. So yeah, if you want to get started for a very basic knowledge, you can go with Auto IT. If you want to go excel onto that part, you can go with Vinium. Then I come to API automation. So in API automation, the most common and largely used API automation tools are SOAP, UI, Postman, REST Assured with Groovy or Python language. Okay. So what is API automation? Let me come to this first. So whenever, suppose if I'll go to this network tab call. Okay. If I'll reload a page. I'll go to this network tab call. Let me reload this page. So you can see I got an API call. This is the API call that I'm getting. So I want to test this thing, whether this API call is working fine or not. So for that thing, I'll do API automation, or basically I'll do API testing. But to make a series of it, I want to go from a login to the logout. I'm logging into Amazon. I'm buying a product. There are multiple operations between. I'm just giving an example. So there are multiple operations in between. I'm just buying a product. I'm paying for it. I'm logging out. So that's the entire operation. So I want to test it. I want to test each and every call is working fine or not. So it happens sometime in UI it is working fine, but in the backend API, are they working fine? Is the payment process getting successful? Maybe you get the product, but the payment is not received in Amazon. This could happen. So for that, this API automation is useful, whether to validate the payment API is working correctly or not, to validate whether the user is getting the same order or not. So API automation is also very useful on those cases. Then we have mobile automation. So on the Android level, on the iPhone level, there are people who are automating. So as you can see, Clash of Clans is a very famous game. So I'll take an example of that. And people are just, there is a tool, I forgot the name of that tool, but the people are used to attack in Clash of Clans using automation. So there are things that are happening. So mobile automation tools are there, but they are not developing it. For developing those tools, there is another tool called APM. So APM will help you develop those tools which will create automated script for you. So this is the benefit of mobile automation. Then my favorite part, web automation. Uh, so also web automation is a highly occupied thing. Like people are using mostly web automation right now. Slowly, mobile automation has come to the industry in last 10 years a lot. But web automation is still on the top. Like 70% people are using the web automation only. Around 70%. It could be less in nowadays. I'm just talking about fact, statistic I've seen long back. Could be less, could be more, I don't know. It's just the statistic I've seen long back. So let me be clear. So for those tools, you can start with the Selenium, the best simple tools, Selenium Java, Selenium C Sharp, Selenium, you can go with the JavaScript, anything. Whichever language you're comfortable, the tool is Selenium. You can go with TestNG, you can go with Maven. There are a lot of things. Then we have Cypress plus TestScript, excellent combination. Test Cafe we have Playwright. Playwright is again on the TestScript basis. But the best thing, I also code in Selenium. In my current company, I'm coding in Playwright. But I'm a very like a big fan of Selenium plus Java. So because the community is very big of Selenium and the documentation is good, the process I like more about Selenium. So that's the only reason I use Selenium. And in future, I'll talk more about Selenium and Playwright. What is the difference? Which is better? Which is not better? Like there's a lot of things. I'm just giving example of web automation. Basically, what web automation is now. So as I told you, logging to application in web, Amazon.com. I'm giving username, password, clicking on login. So that will be performed by automation. So that's a simple thing. I've told this in multiple times. I'm not going again. Okay, so now let's come to the limitation of automation testing or manual testing. So, of course, everything cannot be perfect. Same is with the automation testing. It is great, but it is not the best. And it can never replace the manual tester. So, I know I gave an example in this tab where I was telling that it will save the cost, it will three manual, but definitely the manual testing has the advantage of one thing that if I automation testing I can only do after doing a manual set of testing. So yeah, those limitations I'll list out over here. The first thing is the skill. So in the industry, and mostly if I talk about the Indian IT industry, the skill set of the engineers, which are freshers, which are experienced, also they are not that far where I could say, yeah, he is one of the very fine. Not even me. I am not one of the finest. I've seen people who are really good at automation testing. I am just being on the mark of above average, or you can say average. I would say average, but I'm good at explaining. That's why I'm making this video. So I would rate myself average or above average, not good, not best, good and best, not at all. Maybe above average or average. I'm around that point. So the skills where we are lacking is where people don't know about automation right now. The engineers are not familiar with what automation testing. Everyone likes manual testing. Okay, I'm getting 30K. At least I'm getting 30K. But to learn automation, you'll have to give lot of efforts. You'll have to, learn programming language. Manual testing, anyone can do. I'm taking a BA graduate. I'm bringing him in. He can also do manual testing in future. But if you're an engineer, you should know about automation testing. Suppose I have graduated from CS background, okay, computer science, and I don't know about automation testing or I don't code. What is the logic of my degree? I should burn it down. But okay, someone is coming from a different background entirely, and he's also right now learning automation testing. I salute that person. So I have seen people coming from BA background in my previous to previous company and learning automation testing just to prove themselves out that they can also do, though they are not engineers. So I see this is lacking, and in the industry, people should focus on those things. I would just say pick up one language, pick up one tool, work on it for a year. You'll excel definitely. In a year, you'll see the change within yourself. Mentally, also you can see that thing, and in your personal life also you can see there will be changes. When you know something, it makes you confident. So you'll see that part as well. Then the maintenance. So as I was talking about, whenever there are some changes, so it could happen. Google removes camera button tomorrow from Google Meet. So when we are running that script and our script is not having that if condition, if the button is only missed, then what will do? And we are not having, it will check the button, but the button is not found. It will say the script is failing, but Google in its release note told that we are removing the button. It is not by mistake we have removed it, but we are removing that button. So at that time, again, the script need to be maintained. We need to again change the scripts and all. So for healthy practice, often we have seen after every release, automation testing, the regression testing is done. And for that, we use automated scripts, and we come across some of the issues that is coming in the script. So that is a very healthy practice. Once a month it happens mostly, so we should go ahead with that. Then the initial time. Initial time is one of the very important things that we don't get. As in the industry, people will be like, I just want the testing to be completed, development to be completed, and immediate after that testing should be completed. No one is caring about automation testing. Okay, your testing will be completed for a phase 1, but what about the same thing that means your idea is very limited. You are just thinking of an idea which will exist only for a year. But if you think of an idea which will exist for another 10 years or 15 years, you will need automation testing, and you will have to give in time. So at initial time, you'll have to invest a lot into automation testing. You'll have to learn first of all about the application, then you'll have to go through that. Okay. So for that, you'll have to select which which tool I can pick, which could be very beneficial for that, so that I can add those components. So suppose I'm working in Selenium right now. I want to add rest assured calls also into Selenium. So I'll have to do multiple things. I'll have to think about multiple things. Suppose if it's a OTP will be coming from to someone's phone or to someone's email, I need to get that OTP as well. So how will I use that? So there will be a lot of things in mind that will come. At that time, I'll have to give multiple research. So for that, this initial time will take a lot of time. And then the most important things come is the changing tools due to enhancement. So I guess whosoever will be watching this video and someone whose life story is like this, I've been into this industry from last 5 years. In last 5 years, in two of my projects, the framework got changed from one to another framework, and sometimes the language only gets changed because the client is not happy with that language or not. So this thing goes on, and at that time it is very hectic. You'll have to fully shift from a framework to another framework. You'll have to again learn a new language. So this thing goes on. So these are few limitations of automation testing over manual testing, but again, automation testing rocks. And I'll show you an example why I say this. So this is my just a basic example of a Selenium Java code I have written. So I won't explain the code right now. Maybe in the next video I'll definitely explain the code what I have written. But automating a screen to search a string in Google. So I'll just show what exactly it will be. Okay. So this is my screen, and right now this is a code I have written. What I am doing over here, I just explain. I'm just giving a search string. It will go to google.com. It will search for a string and it will return me the result. So I'll just run the script simply. So okay, the test run and it passed. Why it happened like that? Okay, now I'll have to explain the code a little bit maybe. Okay, my after method is closed, but still it is happening. Okay, I hope it works now. So it okay. So you see it searched for the thing. You can see Chrome is being automated, controlled by automated test software. So I searched for a string Aman Vadada, that's my name, and it returned me this result in Google. So this was just a simple test I was running to tell you how something can be searched automatically without giving your inputs. So this is something that will happen, and this can go from a very low level to very vast, from a very long level with building multiple projects. So it's just a small example about automation testing, a small detailing about automation testing I've shared with you guys. I hope you like this video, and suppose if you like it, do like, subscribe, because I've seen people liking it. Like I got around 500 likes in LinkedIn and YouTube, but people are not subscribing to the channel. So if you really like that thing, definitely do subscribe to the channel as well. It really supports and gives more motivation for creating videos like this. So thank you once again, and hope you like this video and share it with your friends. Thank you.